Hello everybody, and welcome back. And for any of you that are new here, a big thank you to you for showing up. You're all champions. And guys, I see no reason for us to procrastinate any longer. We're at another movie analysis, and there are two movies coming out today. Those would be The Disaster Artist and I, Tonya, coming out on Blu-ray. And you know what? Instead of doing a full-on analysis about both of these films, I figured I would do an analysis and take a look at some of the similarities of the two main characters, because I don't think I've heard anybody compare Tommy Wiseau and Tonya Harding before. So let's dive right into it. For one thing, let's talk about the ambitious nature of Tonya Harding and Tommy Wiseau. Of course, in different spectrums, Tonya Harding is one of the best figure skaters that we've ever had in America, and Tommy Wiseau, well, he's a guy who had a lot of money, who managed to make a film, which, even though the film was pretty horrendous, that is a feat even of itself. So I gotta give props, major props, to both of them. That's the first thing that makes them unique. And you know, it's funny, when you have aspirations to do something so impossible, seeing the drive that one has to go after their dream with such fire, with such passion, it's kind of worth getting invested in, and it's kind of contagious. I mean, you look at Tommy Wiseau, guy comes out of the middle of nowhere with his friend Greg Sestero, and he uses his own personal finances, and he makes a movie. And of course, anybody who has made a movie knows that it's not just a simple setup and go for it. You got to get a crew. You got to get production behind you. It's a lot of really, really hard work, which if you're making a film by yourself, all of the weight is really on your shoulders. And then on the opposite end of the spectrum, we look at Tonya Harding with her figure skating. I mean, she was on the ice 8-10 hours a day sometimes, and she would just go at it. Go, go, go. The ice, the skates were her life. She was just goal driven. She was, I mean, she may not have been the most likable character there is, but man, did she attack her dream with ferocity. She wanted to get to the Olympics, and although that may not have happened, she certainly is one of the most formidable skaters that we have ever had, and she got a lot done. She put all the nonsense behind her, and she just did the work. She got down to it. And now let's look at another trait that both of these two share, and that's their attitude towards going after their goals and the people that they come in contact with. If you look at Tommy Wiseau and I, Tonya, they were so fierce and so goal-driven that literally nothing could get in their way, and they would literally demolish anything that got in their way, and they didn't really care what anybody else said. We look at Tommy Wiseau, he made a film, everybody talks crap about the film, everybody was probably thinking on the set this was impossible. He obviously encountered a bunch of negativity and a bunch of obstacles. That didn't stop him. You look at Tonya Harding, with everything that she has had to go through, be it with the Nancy Kerrigan thing, or when it comes to her boyfriend turned into her husband and all that negativity that she had in her life, there was nothing that could stop her. Now, although there are definitely stories about how Tonya Harding was a nasty, back-of-the-woods, redneck kind of person, and Tommy Wiseau, he was just rough as all get out. He's just he wasn't the nicest to his people on his crew, not supplying them with water, and a bunch of the other cruel things that he did, yelling at them continuously, telling them that they weren't good enough, firing people. Obviously, these two are not the most likely and not the most likable of characters. But what it comes down to is there are some traits that you can connect with them. I mean, if you've ever had a dream, if you've ever encountered negativity, if you've ever had something that you wanted to get done that seemed like it was higher than the mountaintop, be it writing a book, starting a YouTube channel and making that grow and making it successful, or let's say trying to move into the film industry and become an actor and doing auditions and that kind of stuff. Negativity and objectivity and obstacles in your way, they abound, and they are not the most positive things that you will ever run into, not in the least. Finally, there is one thing that Tonya Harding and Tommy Wiseau share that is kind of triumphant and worth celebrating. It's the fact that both of the goals that they set really had a way of coming true. Now, of course, I'm not saying that the Olympics with Tonya Harding came true. Obviously, that was a devastating event, and it may or may not be a good thing that she didn't go. I'm not going to get into that here. But Tonya Harding was the first woman to ever land a triple axel. She made that a goal in her mind, and she accomplished it. And then we look at Tommy Wiseau. Although his goal of having a really triumphant, great film come out didn't really pan out. What did pan out is the fact that Tommy Wiseau made a film. He made a film that in today's society, people celebrate. People come together because it's a safe place. It's a place where people can laugh and have fun. And Tonya Harding accomplished many skating feats in her life. But what all this comes down to is the fact that no matter what your goals are, what these two characters represent from what we know about them, from what they've accomplished in their life, it just goes to show that you put a goal in your mind. You work tooth and nail to make sure it happens. There's nothing that can get in your way. It doesn't matter the negativity. It doesn't matter what stands between you and your goal. If you dig your nails in and you go for it at 110% and you don't stop, you will eventually succeed and you will eventually get there. But after all, guys, these are just my thoughts on these two characters and these two films of The Disaster Artist and I, Tonya. I thought they were both brilliant. I thought they were both masterfully handled. And guys, most importantly, when it comes to these specific analysis, I want to get your thoughts on it. What do you think of The Disaster Artist? What do you think of I, Tonya? More importantly, what do you think of Tonya Harding and Tommy Wiseau? Whatever your thoughts are, make sure to leave them down in the comment section below so we can get a conversation started. That is what's most important here. And guys, that's really all I have left to say. So until next time, thank all of you for showing up. And if you like what you've heard and seen here, be sure to click right there and subscribe and become part of the fray of nerds who love cinema. You all have a fantastic day.